Rishonim about the status of women, whether or not Noshim, women, are obligated in the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. The Chinuch is very clear, and he says that the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim applies to women. He says, "For the Heges, B'scharim, U'v'nekevus." It applies to men and women. Sefer Chinuch clearly says the mitzvah applies to women. So all the Achronim, Mechas Chinuch, of course, and everybody after him, before him, they all ask, why does the Sefer Chinuch obligate women in the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim? What's the issue? Usually women are patur by mitzvahs that are, four-word phrase, mitzvahs that say Shazman Grum. Mitzvahs that are time-bound mitzvahs. Why is the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim time-bound mitzvah? Shmuel. Because it's on the night of the 15th of Nisan. We have the mitzvah of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim the whole year. So if you watched the last year, you would know there's a big difference between the mitzvah of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim and Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. The last year we went through Reb Chaim explaining the big difference, and then Reb Shlomo added two other differences. So it's a different mitzvah. The mitzvah of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim you can get away with much easier, but the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim is a different mitzvah. You have to say it over in the story form, say it over to other people. All these differences between Zechira and Sipur. So everybody wants to know why women are obligated in Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim according to the Chinuch if it's time bound. It's only applicable 15th day of Nisan and not the rest of the year.
Aren't they part of the miracle?
Okay. So Shlomo wants to say the classic answer. Af hein hayu ba'osa hanes. Now there's two ways of learning this phrase. Either that they were part of the miracle, meaning that they were also saved. Women were saved from Egypt. They had to work in Egypt, right? Now they don't have to work. Or some learned af hein hayu ba'osa hanes means that they were the goyim. They were the cause of the nes. By Purim, Esther was the cause of the nes. By Hanukkah, Yehudis was a major catalyst in the victory against the Greeks. And by Pesach, you say that the reason we were redeemed, the Medrash says, in the schar, in the merit of the schus of the Noshim Tzikonius, the holy women that were in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, because of their greatness, we were redeemed. So Shlomo, that's a nice try, but it's not going to cut it. Why? I gave you 3 examples of when we say that women are obligated because of Af Hanes. Halachos, women have to drink the 4 cups of wine. Purim, they're obligated to hear the Megillah. And by Ner Chanukah. What is the difference between these 3 mitzvahs that we mentioned and the one we're talking about now? The mitzvah of
Ner Chanukah, they don't do anything. They just stay there.
The husband, right? Correct.
They do have to light.
So they don't have to say the story. Then it's not an action. They're them standing there watching their husband light is not an action.
Okay, they have to light. They're yotzei with their husband's lighting. Now, as far as the girls, that's a whole discussion unto itself.
You're not saying that you have to literally say over the story. You're saying the husband can say it for you like a.
No, that's the thing. According to other Rishonim, yes, according to other Rishonim, they just have to be there and they hear the husband tell over the story. And the yotzei with the husband telling over the story. The Sefer Chinuch does not say that. That's the point. Sefer Chinuch says women are obligated to tell over the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. They are not yotzei with the husband telling them the story.
So you can't compare it to Hanukkah though.
Well, that's the question. The Sefer Chinuch says women are obligated in the story of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. But why? It's a time-bound mitzvah. So Shlomo said before, maybe we should say the svara of Afen Hoibos and Nes. However you want to learn it. That they were the cause of the miracle, or they were saved from the miracle because of the miracle. The problem with those three examples, Shlomo, Shmuel, we're going to pretend we're on the SATs, or the achievement test in school. Let's play the game. Which one doesn't belong here? Remember? Apple, peach, water. Okay, so we're gonna play one. Which one doesn't belong here? I'm gonna give you 4 mitzvos. You tell me which one doesn't belong. 3 mitzvos that we said, where you say the svar of Afen Hoibos Anes. Neil Chanukah, Halachos, Mikra Megillah, and Tzipur Yitzias Mitzrayim. Which one does not apply? Which one does not belong?
Repeat the options.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Shmuel, what's the answer?
The Halachos.
Well, as for
I don't know why, because that's the only action there is.
okay, so we're not doing. No, you have to light the menorah too. Okay, so we're not doing.
You have to do because the husband's not allowed to drink with the wife, right? Unless she has a medical whatever, but she has to drink herself.
Okay, so we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that another time. We're not doing now the difference between a ma'isa, an act, and let's say being yotzei somebody else's act. We're not doing that chiluk now. I'll be glad to answer that after class. The chiluk we're doing now is mitzvah d'Rabbanan and mitzvah d'Oraisa. If you listen, Shmuel, at the last year, we said that mitzvah tzipur yitzias mitzrayim is d'Oraisa. There are 2 mitzvahs d'Oraisa seder night, matzah and tzipur yitzias mitzrayim. So Shlomo, to answer your question, we're not going to say Afen Hoibos Anes. Afen Hoibos Anes, we said 3 examples by mitzvahs d'Rabbanan. Dalil Koises, d'Rabbanan. Megillah, d'Rabbanan. Ner Chanukah, d'Rabbanan. So Tzipur Yitzias Mitzrayim is a mitzvah d'Oraisa. So maybe we don't say Afen Hoibos Anes. When do you say Afen Hoibos Anes? When the Chachamim make the mitzvah. Then they make the rules. We are going to obligate women because of Afen Hoibos Anes. But by mitzvah d'Oraisa, if the Torah patered women, the Torah said women are pater from mitzvah seishas man groma. Gemara Kedushin, we learn it out from Talmud Torah at Tefillin. So it's keilu as if the Torah said women are obligated. If the Torah said women are obligated, the Chum don't come and say, no, I'm going to say you are obligated. That answers your question. What's your name, Shlomo? But Afen Hoibos Anes would not apply here because we're talking about mitzvah d'Oraisa. Very good try, though. So there are a lot of ways of answering this question. First, I'm going to say over the Stipler's teretz. Shik says this teretz. Geshmak teretz says kasha. Are women obligated in matzah? Do women have to eat matzah at the seder? Yes, that is the correct answer. Why? Isn't matzah mitzvah seishas man grama? What? Shmuel Zaydel just said a beautiful one, unbelievable idea. And we're going to explain this very well. I'm so excited. The question is, why should women be obligated to matzah? Matzah is also man grama. Matzah is man grama. Matzah is only the night of Tezvav and Nisan. I hope nobody from Stroit says matzah or Howitz Mogametin or listen to this year. But it's not a mitzvah the rest of the year. Don't throw me out, right? Right? Shashulis. You can have bread for Shashulis, not Shabbos Chol Hamoed. But so the answer is we have a hekesh. The Torah compares the mitzvah of matzah to the Issur prohibition of against eating chametz. And the Gemara says, it says in the pasuk, you should eat matzah. Don't eat chametz for 7 days. Eat matzah. So the Gemara says, whoever is obligated not to eat chametz for 7 days, I mean, midiraisa, we have the 8th day, right? So then those people have to eat matzah. So women can't eat chametz. They're obligated on all prohibitions. Since women can't eat chametz for the whole 7 day period, they have to eat matzah. Where do you have this concept? I don't know if Shmuel was with us back then. You were with us back then, Shlomo, when we were learning about Shabbos. Why do women have to Here, Kiddush. Because we compared Zachav Shama. Whoever is obligated not to do Malacha on Shabbos is obligated to do the positive mitzvahs on Shabbos. Lechem Mishnah, Kiddush. So that concept applies over here too. Whoever is obligated not to eat chametz has to eat matzah for the whole Pesach period. Therefore, since women cannot eat chametz, they have to eat matzah. What Shmuel said before is amazing, and we're going to explain this a little bit better. Matzah and sipur go together. How do they go together? The pasuk calls matzah lechem oni. So we know the interpretation. If you look at Maxwell House Haggadah, it's going to say lechem oni, poor man's bread. Okay? Well, the joke is, it makes you poor because it's so expensive, right? The Gemara tells us, the Tosh Baal Peh, and we're going to be enlightened. We're going to learn a little bit more. And when the Torah says lechem oni, no. What it means is lechem she'onim olav dvarim arabeh, the bread that we recite a lot of things on it. From the word aniyah, or anisa v'amauta. Aniyah means to recite, to say over. Lechem oni, the bread of recital. Not the recital, the ballet recital, but the recital, the saying over that you do of. Says Rashi, what's the Olam of Dvarim Harbe? What do you recite on the bread? Halav Haggadah. Zakta Stipler, Zakta Moram Sheikh. So what do you see? Maybe if I start banging, it would be helpful for the recording. What do you see? Says the Stipler. The Torah calls matzah lechem oni, the bread of recital. Based on what? On the fact that we say the Haggadah on the matzah. So Shmuel Zaydel said something so beautiful. Sipur and matzah go together. Just like we said that women are obligated in the matzah because they're obligated in the prohibition against eating chametz. So maybe that's why they're obligated. According to the chinuch would learn that this hekesh goes further too. The hekesh not only requires women in achilas matzah, but all the mitzvahs associated with the mitzvah of matzah, namely halal and Haggadah. Because it's called lechem oni, it's called the bread of recital. So therefore, the recital that we say on the bread, namely the Haggadah, would also be included in the mitzvah of matzah. And therefore, since women are obligated in the mitzvah of matzah because they were obligated in the prohibition against eating chametz, they also have to eat. They also have to say over the Haggadah, the obligated mitzvah of Sipur Shir Yisrael, because it's connected like a glove intrinsically to the mitzvah of matzah, because matzah is called lechem only, the bread of recital, because of the reciting of the Haggadah that we say on the matzah.